Pod. Pod. Quad. Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. We are in the thick of the NBA Finals right now, going into Game 4 tomorrow. It'll already happen by the time this video is out, but we're going into Game 4, so we'll talk about that a little bit. The NHL Stanley Cup has been, it's over. The team is champion has been crowned. The parade has already happened. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well.
It happened in between, as we recorded to release, they won. So, if you watched the last video, you saw, at least on the title, Tampa Bay wins. But we'll talk about it this episode.
Yeah, and of course we'll talk about NFL news. There is some NFL news going on as well, and then the bias bubbles and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So we'll just hop right into it, man. The NBA Finals going into Game 4. Bucks came back with a vengeance last game.
Giannis was balling, and he didn't do ISO ball. He was doing a lot of rolls, a lot of pick and rolls, and just kind of getting his buckets the way he needed to. So 41 points, that's huge. It's a huge finals performance.
They caught the Suns slipping in that game. They didn't look like themselves. Devin Booker wasn't playing up to par. Nobody really was.
But I'm still expecting the Suns to pull this out.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What was our predictions for the series here?
I'm still sticking with mine. I say Suns in 5.
Okay, I think I said Suns in 7, right?
I believe so.
I said Suns in 7. So I this is kind of according to plan here, even for you still, because you said Suns in 5.
My prediction could come to an end tomorrow, but who knows?
We'll see. And it's still in Milwaukee, right? Oh, no.
I believe so.
Yeah,
and then
because the Suns had a damn good record this year.
Yeah, if the Suns beat them, and they can go and win it back in Phoenix.
Exactly. Finish it out, like you said, in 5.
I mean, that would be nice. So I mean, I'm fully expecting the Suns to pull this out. They just seem like the more complete team, but hey, you never know. It's the finals, man. Right,
exactly. But I really do. I still have faith in Giannis and the Bucks to make it a good series.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sticking by my prediction at 5, but I mean, I could see this going to Game 7 easily.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to watch it, and you saw, did you see this actually? I don't know if you did, I didn't send it to the chat or nothing, but there's a prediction floating around out there from 2014. Somebody tweeted in 2014, Suns versus Bucks in the 2021 finals, Bucks win Game 7, and they had the score. And it was just talking. It was some shit. I was just like,
some time crazy. Travelers, huh?
Time traveler shit right there.
You got some time travelers out here. But yeah, do you have anything else to add about the finals? Because I mean, we can talk about it a little bit more as well.
I mean, I'm just kind of excited to see what happens going forward, especially with the Bucks being kicked in the ass there. And now actually in the series. So, but they say a series doesn't start until a team loses at home. So this is kind of just going as it goes.
And I mean the Bucks are known to perform very well at home as well.
Exactly.
So I mean, who knows what it could be like if it goes back to Phoenix.
If the Suns can steal one in Milwaukee, then it's bad. It's not.
It could be.
It's over in 5. Then I could absolutely see that. But so I think the Bucks. It's almost a must win for this game here
tomorrow.
Even though they're still 2 games away from elimination. That Phoenix arena is too crazy.
Tomorrow is going to be a big game then.
Yeah. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, so I mean we'll be talking about that next week, I'm sure, and probably the next game after that, and then who knows? I mean, it could be over by then. Right. Depending on how this next game unfolds.
Yeah, because it was weird. They went 2 days in between games.
Yeah.
From Sunday to Tuesday here. But by Thursday, Game 4 is on Wednesday, so we'll already know the results of that. But here's hoping it's a good game. I'm gonna pick Milwaukee for Game 4 just because I want to see a 7-game series.
Yeah, that makes sense. Give everybody what they want. Give a 7-game finals. Go out with a bang. There is, of course, some other NBA news as well. Adam Silver said in a recent interview that he anticipates the NBA Playin Tournament is here to stay and it will continue next season, which I feel like everybody kind of flip-flopped. Everybody hated the Playin Tournament at first, and now they're like, hey, we love this player tournament stuff.
Wait a second. You know what? That's not a bad idea. That's not too bad. Like, because it gives that last couple games of the season some intrigue that was never there before.
Yeah.
You know, I know you had teams jockeying for positions at the end, but like all the way down to 10 with a chance to even, I loved it. Even though my
Makes it
team
more interesting.
unfortunately had to play in that shit. It was exciting to watch those games like they were playoff games. At the end of the day, they were playoff games.
Yeah.
You know, so it was awesome. It just little.
It's gonna be one of those things where you're like, just how you were this year, where it's like, oh, I mean, we're happy to be in the race to be into the playoffs, but at the same time, we're in a play-in tournament. We lose,
yeah, so like, what's the expectations here, really? Like, honestly, but yeah, man, I was like I said, you saw Steph Curry in the play-in tournament last year, so
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I could see the Blazers being as good of a team as they usually are. Sometimes they falter, a little bit, and like seeing Dame drop 50 points in a play-in game or something would be wild.
Yeah, who knows what's going on with Dame though? We'll talk about that here in a little bit. The NBA unveiled a new logo for next year for the 2021-2022 season.
I did see. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm sure you'll put it up here. It's like the diamond with the Jerry West logo and NBA in the middle. It's for the commemorating the 75th year of the NBA. It looks really cool, man. I can't wait to see it like on a court too as they're playing. I feel like it's gonna look really cool.
You think they're gonna have? You know how the NFL did the special 100 on the front?
Put it like on the jerseys or something.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be on like the bottom on these little like patches.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder where else is it? I don't know.
Like right on the back, like underneath.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right underneath the neck. Yep.
So that little diamond,
like that's gonna look dope.
I hope they change the whole logo.
I'm gonna have to definitely buy a jersey next year then if they do that.
We can do an order.
For sure. We might have to put another order. Former Wizards coach Scott Brooks is finalizing a deal with Portland to become Chauncey Billups' top assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
Significant addition for Billups as he builds his new coaching staff.
Scott Brooks from Washington?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, like that, we were talking to him. This was like part of my bias bubble here is like we were talking to him and there was speculation about Russell Westbrook to the Lakers, but like I saw that happen as well and I'm like, oh, well, that's dead in the water already. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's interesting though.
Very interesting. There was a couple hires. The Orlando Magic hired Dallas Mavericks assistant Jamal Mosley as the new head coach. Mosley is traveling to Orlando as they finalize the terms. So I mean, Magic, he's got a lot of work to do over there in Orlando.
Yeah.
They just traded pretty much all their decent pieces away. They're in full rebuild mode as of right now.
Right. I can see them doing it, get some nice assets as far as draft picks, and then, just rebuild like everybody else. They were at the top of the once,
And that's the hard part, man. It's hard as hell to rebuild, especially if you don't have any stars or anything.
All you got to do is draft Dwight Howard, and you win the 2009 finals. I'm just saying, like, the Magic ain't been back since then, but like that was a great ass team. I mean, they just kind of got that piece.
That's crazy. They had like Shaq and then like Dwight Howard.
I know. Draft another one. Do it again.
The ESPYs were over the weekend here.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry won Best NBA Player. Old Stephen Curry.
It's interesting because that wasn't the MVP of the league. So, like,
right?
So
what is the MVP if not the best player of the league?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because, like, I know he had a play-in tournament, but he still probably was the MVP last year. He played at an MVP level the entire season.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the year.
He probably will just get better going forward.
Because he's just going to sharpen. He's going to be like Ray Allen at the end of his career.
It's crazy that he came back even better from that injury that he was out a whole year. It's like the KD thing we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. But KD is a freak of nature too out here. Even after what we just saw the last 2 years of KD's life being, playing in the Olympics right now. Which, speaking of the Olympics.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Olympics, for the first time since it was 1992 when the pros actually started playing in the Olympics, they lost two like what was it? Like they were just
Back
regular
to back exhibition games.
exhibition games. Yeah, they lost 2 of them back to back. They finally won one tonight by like 30 points. Coincidence that Zach LaVine was in the starting lineup for this game.
Apparently, Zach LaVine is the brightest spot of Team USA right now. Like
That's
he
what I'm
is
hearing.
balling. They're saying that like all this time off that he had because the Bulls weren't in the playoffs is even just helping him even more because he's just fresh. He's so ready to go.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
I mean that's all I've been hearing as well. I saw something here that who was it? It was Bradley Beal. He said, I was going to say this for the bias bubble, but he said that Zach LaVine is pure talent and he is an underrated guard in our league. All of our peers know that. So, I mean, at this point, what I was saying last week, man, Zach is kind of like,
exactly what you're saying.
Chicago, man.
That
Come
picture.
on, everybody's showing.
I'll put that picture up down here where he's like, fist bump. Is it KD in that picture? Recruitment?
Yeah, where he's like, yep, that's what I'm saying. Come on, KD. You know you don't want to be over there in Brooklyn. KD's already been on the record saying that he thinks like this Chicago team is very talented.
What if you got KD and Anthony Davis 3 years from now, 4 years from now, whatever it ends
I would
up.
be ecstatic, but at the same time, I'd be weary because they're both like, I mean, they're both super talented players, but they're also going to be kind of in like the twilight of their career at that point.
Right.
Kind of, I wouldn't say like on the verge of retirement by any means, but I would just say like they're not in their prime anymore.
Chris Paul's 36. LeBron's 36.
But I tell you what though, like after seeing that, it makes me feel good. Like we got a dope ass player here in Chicago,
right.
man. People are starting to recognize that.
Something great to build around there.
Exactly, and now like I mean, Billy Donovan's and his head coach has a good repertoire with a lot of players. It seems like a lot of players like him as a coach. So I mean, him, Zach LaVine, Vooch. They just added Vooch. So like, come on, man, another All-Star. Come on in, KD. Dame. Trade for Dame, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe in a couple years.
Maybe a couple years. I don't know.
Dame in a couple years would still be
Paul
amazing.
George over here or something. Kawhi. I don't know what's going on. Kawhi.
Speaking of Kawhi, he just had surgery on a partially torn ACL, but apparently he's going to be able to make full recovery. So everything's going good.
That's crazy. There was even rumors about like him coming back in the finals if they made it. Like this dude's going to come back on a partially torn ACL.
But he probably would have did it. He would have at least tried.
Oh yeah, he definitely would have tried, man.
But
and that's crazy.
I hope, even though he's a Clipper, I hope him the best. I don't see motherfuckers recover,
Yeah, you never want to see that happen.
You want to see the stars playing in the NBA. You don't want to see everybody hurt.
Yeah, and that's been a lot of complaint about the playoffs this year.
Yeah, because of that LeBron shit too. Like LeBron said, and then Shaq
all these stars getting hurt. I guarantee you would be a whole different like outcome right now. Like probably the Nets would be in if it was a full like healthy team.
That's
the Lakers probably be deep in it.
You can say that every year.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, but this year was just a little bit.
Yeah, more so.
Exactly, but we can attribute that to the shortened season.
Yeah. Speaking of one of the teams in the finals, Phoenix Suns assistant Willie Green has emerged as a new front runner to be New Orleans Pelicans' next head coach.
Yep, I saw that as well. That's pretty good. Like, it's nice to see all these teams getting assistance from other squads because they're just like getting fresh chances more or less. I know some of them aren't necessarily, but I like to see new faces. So see what you can do. Give them the keys for a couple years. See what they could turn into. Yeah,
I mean that's really like the only name I've seen surrounded around that Pelicans head coach job, too. So that means it's like who knows? Like maybe it's not like I've heard that like the GMs are kind of hard to work with. That's kind of what the other previous coaches were saying. Zion reportedly like he wants out. Who knows what's going on there? Like
Zion wants out already.
Already.
You saw Anthony Davis win a championship in LA. It was like, see what happened.
He's already unhappy, so who knows, man? New Orleans is a mess right now.
God. But I do have another little tidbit of funny news here. Our man Sir Charles. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you see what he did over the weekend here? I don't know if it was over the weekend, but like it was.
He hosted the match.
Oh, for real?
Charles Barkley.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But anyway,
he
listen.
was a commentator during a match.
He placed a $100,000 bet on himself to place top 70 in the American Century Championship golf tournament.
Yeah.
He placed $100,000 bet on himself to place top 70. And I'm just like, damn, that's like outrageous. Like, I don't know how else to.
When's that tournament go down?
I don't know. I didn't see. Let me see if I can find that.
That dude's crazy.
But it was just ridiculous to me. I'm like, what in the world? Like, he just dropped $100,000 bet on himself. You know, I just thought that was interesting.
That's wild.
I don't know if you saw that or not.
That's wild. Speaking of NBA news, though, continuing here, the big news out of today was now officially the 76ers are open to trading Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
And they would like an all-star caliber player in return.
I heard the name of Atlanta in the mix for them.
Atlanta, really?
Mm-hmm. That's what a potential trade rumor was.
I did have a list of teams that came out a couple hours ago here. It said Cleveland, Indiana, Minnesota, Toronto, and Sacramento are also teams that are interested.
I want to see them go to Sacramento with all them young
these
bulls
teams that
there.
Actually like have high draft picks that are like, hey, we'll give you all these picks. Cleveland's like, we'll give you Kevin Love.
They're like, no, thank you.
Where it's like, I don't know, Minnesota, what could you really give them? Because, I mean, they got Joel Embiid. You don't need Cat or anything.
Yeah. I think Sacramento would be a great fit.
Sacramento, Toronto would be a good fit, too.
Toronto would be nice, too.
Toronto would be a really good fit for him, I think, especially like the defensive prowess that he has. Kyle Lowry could help him work on that shooting a little bit.
That would be interesting. I don't know. I'm interested to see where he goes. He's that like we talked about this last week. He's definitely got the potential to be an all-star, but he needs to learn how to shoot the ball.
Yeah, for real. And I think that is pretty much all that I have. Oh no, the last bit of news. I have two things here. The Golden State Warriors, are reportedly currently discussing in-house the trade for Portland Trailblazer star Damian Lillard.
Does it involve Steph Curry?
It doesn't say. I guarantee they're not going to let Steph Curry go for Dame Lillard. But that was my thought. You bring in like Dame.
You better
Steph
get rid of
shooting guard or something.
Draymond and Klay Thompson then, because you can't have Damian like this. Oh
get
my
rid
God!
of get rid of Draymond.
Gonna go back to the same shit with the Warriors in the finals every year.
Dame, Klay, Steph. Who else you got over there? You got
they got the young bull.
Yeah, used to play on Timberwolves, right?
Forget his name.
Wiggins.
D'Angelo. Don't they still got D'Angelo Russell too?
I thought they traded him.
Oh, is he on Minnesota? That's where he ended up, Minnesota?
Yeah, I think that's where he's at. Yeah, that's where he's at. Wiggins is on the Warriors now.
There's the other bull, the young bull that kept missing all them threes at the beginning of the season. I forget his name. We talked about him on this podcast.
Yeah,
because there was a stat like where if he would have like not taken any threes, it was a crazy stat about the
he would have had a better percentage.
Yeah.
The last bit of NBA news I have here are the Knicks are aggressively pursuing Cavaliers' Collin Sexton in trade talks.
Okay. I saw the Lakers were tied to him a little bit as well.
Yeah. So I mean, man, Knicks were already they're on the upswing. Adding another bright, like young talent to the mix that could
Cleveland would let him get away. You know, isn't he still in Cleveland?
Yeah, that would be such a Cleveland thing to do.
They just drafted him, I think, like the year LeBron left.
But that's the last bit of NBA news that I have that I'm not saving for the bias bubble here.
Gotcha. I'm all good on the NBA.
But before we go into the NFL in a little bit, let's talk about the NHL a little bit. Give it credit. Old Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup back-to-back years, doing it twice. Back to back.
Happy for him, but fuck him because I want the Bruins to win, obviously.
Yeah, I want the Flyers up in there.
It's cool to see a team dominate the way they've been dominating in the last 2 years, and I gotta respect that.
They became the 9th franchise in NHL history to win back-to-back cups. They've won it the same year as Tampa Bay, winning in football, like what you talked about before. Old Tom Brady, it seems like teams just win wherever he goes.
It's ridiculous.
They had pretty much a parade just like the Buccaneers. They were out on boats in a boat parade. There's a famous picture now of they had this big ass Stanley Cup on a jet ski. He was on a jet ski with the cup like taller than he is in front of him, riding around with this cup. They dented the shit out of it. There's a picture of the actual cup on top with a big ass dent in it.
Oh my
like
God.
They fucked this cup up in one day.
Oh my God. I gotta see this picture. I'm gonna put it up down here. But like that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So I mean, congratulations to Tampa Bay Lightning. They definitely deserve it, man. Going back-to-back years, that's hard for any team to do across any sport, let alone hockey, man.
Especially
You're
with
getting
parity.
beat the hell up.
I know, right? And they did it through COVID, and then proved that it wasn't just the COVID Cup, and they won it again.
You're like, you know what? We're gonna go out here and do our thing again on them.
Unlike them Lakers.
But there are some other NHL news here. The key dates for NHL: July 17th is the expansion draft. Protected list must be submitted by each team, minus the Vegas Golden Knights. July 21st is the expansion draft. July 23rd is the actual NHL draft. And July 28th is free agency opens up at noon.
Interesting. So what are the rules with the expansion? Like,
the expansion, I'm pretty sure, I don't know the exact number of players, but each team has to select a certain number of players they're keeping, and the rest are pretty much on the board. Right. And then it's pretty much just for the new team, the Seattle Kraken. That's how they're going to draft their players. They're going to be picking like players from each teams that are unprotected pretty much.
Man, that's some interesting shit right there.
It is. It is very interesting.
You got all these, you got 20 players or something, and they're like, all right, you can keep 8. What do you mean? Like that? Oh my God. I would like to see the numbers on that just to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the NHL draft, it's the July 23rd and then 28th is free agency. So I mean, it's the season just ended and we're going straight. It's not like the NFL, you got to wait a couple months. No, it's going right into the draft.
Draft time. NBA draft's in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the MLB draft just happened.
Yeah.
So there's that. And the NHL also announced that they're planning to return to the full 82 game schedule and also the previous divisions that they had.
So
we announced that this season they had set divisions. Pretty much just they were playing. All the teams in each division were just playing each other 8 times, pretty much. Right. Now they're going back to the original setting, all the original divisions, 82 full schedule. So NHL will be back to normal here next year.
Then I imagine the NBA will as well.
Yeah.
The following year, because it'll kick off here in October, most likely. So we'll see. It'd be. I mean, I don't know, because it is still running. Usually the finals would be over by now. They're in June.
Yeah, usually, I mean, we talked about the other week how Adam Silver said that the NBA is going to start on time as it normally would. Like, it's going to be on schedule. So, I mean, we're probably looking at a shorter offseason again, unfortunately.
But it'll just be another year until we get a normal offseason again. So,
yeah, it's going to take another year just to get back on track.
Hey, this is benefiting us because we got something to talk about in July. You know what I'm saying?
Precisely. Gives us more stuff to talk about. And also in other news, just to hit on it before we go into the NFL a little bit, Italy beat England to win the Euro 2020, their first European championship since 1968.
Damn, that's so crazy. Like, that's some historic shit. And I don't quite understand it because I'm not super into the soccer world, but I can tell the significance of it.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I saw that this Euro championship had the highest ratings in the U.S. in years. Like apparently people were just tuning in. Like there was such a spotlight on this one.
Like it was, like I said, it was historic in a way. So
yeah,
everybody was trying to see.
It was already a historic game, but then it came down to penalty kicks at the very end. Because it ended in a tie, and they're like, "Oh, it's championship. We got to end this shit somehow." So it was kind of like hockey in a way, where you're just taking penalty kicks. And it's up to the goalie at that point, man. So, I mean, it came down to, like, it was a nail-biter at the end. I didn't see it live, but I watched the video of it afterwards. Mm-hmm. But, man, like, I can imagine just Italy and then, like, England just being on the edge of their seats, like, any second now, one of you is gonna win. Like
The
that's
Euro Cup.
a crazy thing.
Oh man.
So congratulations to Italy. I don't have any clue on how soccer works. I know there's a ton of leagues and there's a ton of different like little championships and cups and stuff, and then you have like the World Cup. So I mean, I have no idea how it all works, but congratulations because I know it means a lot. I know.
Yes. Not good at
I know the
disrespecting it at all.
significance
We
of it.
definitely
Yeah.
understand the significance of that, but
Yeah,
we're
I'm
also
not trying
gonna
to
tell
disrespect
you
it at all.
we don't quite understand all of it.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm just being completely upfront with just not what I don't know.
Right.
And two things I don't know, and that's baseball and soccer. Pretty much. So I mean, we can just kind of move on to the NFL news here, quick.
Mhm.
I do have a decent amount of NFL news. This is it's not really NFL, but it's football related news. The CFL, the Canadian Football League, and the XFL halted talks about a potential partnership. The XFL also announced they will return in the spring of 2023.
So they're just like, oh, fine, we'll do it without you. Like
I
some
guess so. The Rock
Sony
is
and
now the owner
Nintendo
of the
shit.
XFL, so he's like, we're full go for 2023. So the XFL will be once again for the third time coming back. I'll have to find another new team. I'm sure it's not going to be the same teams.
It'll get canceled again. I would say within the next
sure.
year or two, we won't even be talking about the XFL again. I'm not going to get my hypes up this time. I got my hypes up last time.
It lasted like 8 games.
Yeah, and they ruined me.
Some actual NFL news here. Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson both seem primed to play on a franchise tag in 2021. They don't appear to be anywhere near long-term deals with their respective teams.
I mean, that's kind of what you expected at the end of the day, because you knew they weren't going to move on from these players. So if that's what it takes, you saw how Dak Prescott's situation played out.
Yeah, that's true. But in the end, Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin at like next year, I'm guessing it's the end of their contract, so they could be like, you know what, y'all don't want to pay me or whatever, I'm out. I'll find someone that will pay me. I mean, Chris Godwin, he's on Tampa Bay Bucks, so I mean,
I don't think he would
that's a whole different situation than Allen Robinson.
Right, Allen Robinson might be out of there, but Chris Godwin's like, I'm good. Just pay me whatever you need to pay me.
Allen Robinson probably just like, I'm gonna wait and see how Justin Fields is first before I figure out what I'm doing. Speaking of Justin Fields, Jordan Love, and Deshaun Watson were seen practicing together.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's video of them
Love.
practicing at a practice facility, NFL practice facility. Yeah,
Jordan Love's trying to get those reps in because he knows Aaron Rodgers ain't coming. Imagine if Aaron Rodgers misses like all camp and then just shows up.
Yeah.
You gotta start him. You gotta start him. Hey, what's up here? You gonna waive them fines? All right, cool.
All right, I'll play.
You
gonna trade me next year? We're gonna come back to that.
we're gonna do this all again next year. All right,
okay.
Cool.
I might play in the PGA Tour next year. So
yeah. Hey, shit, he's good enough, man. At least he's way better than me.
Yeah, but I mean, I saw the video of it, and it was pretty surprising. Like, this is really the first video I've seen of Deshaun Watson at all in the past,
the ones that he
before
posted.
the allegations. Yeah, other than the workout vids. Right. But like, he's actually out here with other QBs practicing.
We'll see what happens. I don't even think Deshaun plays this year either, to be honest with you, because we're not hearing anything about any of that shit. It's all being like real hush hush, you know. So I don't think he plays either. At least starts the season.
Oh yeah. Now this is kind of NFL. This is more of a sports town fact. Combined win percentage of all 4 major Detroit sports teams: Detroit Tigers, the Lions, the Pistons, and the Red Wings. They all have a combined win percentage of .349 this past season for all teams in Detroit. I saw that and I was like, I had to share that.
Some things don't change.
All Detroit teams are trash right now.
Sorry, Detroit fans.
Facts.
That's facts. He brought you facts. I got some other facts here for you. Listen, this is the number of games that teams had of players missing games to injury, if that makes any sense. Like
Okay.
a combined number of like this team missed this amount of games total with injury, like players with injury.
Oh God.
Number one, I'm only gonna do the top 3 because that's all I care about. You know what I mean? Number one, the 49ers, okay?
Mhm.
Which to be expected.
Yeah.
They
Was
had-
this just last year or?
Yes.
Okay.
Just last year. They had
Okay.
players miss a combined 166.6
Yeah.
games.
They had
last year.
had pretty much like half their roster hurt almost.
Number 2, New England Patriots.
Really?
Yes, with a combined missed games of 134.8.
Damn.
Okay. Number 3, Philadelphia Eagles. Okay.
I knew we
With
were
a-
going to be on the list.
a
I was
combined-
surprised you guys are ahead of us.
I know, but they had 128 games missed due to injury. So
Yeah, and I think we had 13 different O-line setups throughout the whole season because our whole O-line was banged up. We were bringing people off the practice squad to play
Mhm.
O-line. We had like 13 different O-line combinations last year. Hopefully you get that shit under control this year. But I'm
We'll
not
see.
surprised the Eagles were on that list. We're probably on that list past 3 years, to be honest.
I'm hoping the Patriots are nowhere near that list this year.
Yeah,
I want to be one on the healthy side.
I'm hoping we are too, because the Eagles have got significantly younger now,
Yeah,
especially
so-
the offense.
Right, they should be.
Yeah, so we should be good, hopefully. But knock on wood on that one. I think this is the last thing, yeah, 'cause I actually have a lot of bias bubble stuff. Despite the Jets publicly stating their efforts to relentlessly re-sign Marcus May, the team has not responded to his last proposal, and that offer has been pulled off the table, sources say. With 48 hours until the tag extension deadline, no deal is expected.
Damn, they're like, all right, you know what? Fuck you. We're good.
He's
We're
like,
good.
all right, I'm all right.
I'll sign it. No, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Have a good day.
Don't worry about it.
You get all your stuff out? All right, cool. That's fucked up, bro. I do have 2 things here
Okay.
as far as the NFL goes. I just had the PFF released their going into the season, the rankings here. It's pretty obvious. You know,
Nice.
we got Chiefs, Bucks, Bills at number 3, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
Ravens, and then Packers going into the season. That's what they say the top 5 teams are. So we'll see how that changes throughout camp. You know, they always do some weird power rankings, but we'll see how that goes. And then also, it's come out that Big Ben is on even stricter diet than Tom Brady.
I
He
did
is
see
out
this.
here trying to have like the best year of his life type of shit, you know. So if I like to see Ben trying to work towards it, you know, working towards something there. It's really cool that I don't, you know, there's no love here for the Steelers, obviously.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, but there's no
It
love
seems
here
like
for the
he's really
Steelers.
trying to be the best QB he can be at this point.
Exactly,
Going
because
out
a lot
on
of
a high
years, even though he's, you know, I don't know the guy. I'm not trying to work or knock his work ethic or anything like that. But you always hear things about him being like, oh no, I'd rather do this than go work out in the off season. You know,
Yeah.
he's not really seen out there working out with his players in the off season if he doesn't have to. You know, so it's nice to see him putting that
He's
extra
giving
effort
in to like actually putting forth the effort and build, and like especially if this is his last year, he wants to go out on the best note possible.
And if this man went 10-0 with whatever he was dealing with last year, and
Cheeseburger
now he's
Ben.
got, so now he's even, I like I said last week, I don't think they would necessarily go 10-0 to start the season, but if he's going to be focused and motivated, they have every reason to be a good team next year.
Big Ben raw cheeseburger. That was terrible.
That was pretty funny. I agree that. But he's trying to get rid of that nickname.
Speaking of a list, I did see a list. Old QB guru Dan Orlovsky. He's a big QB brain guy. You know, he breaks down a lot of plays for QBs. He released his top 10 QB list going into this season. Number 1, he has Pat Mahomes. Number 2, he has Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Number 3, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Number
That's what I'm
4,
talking about.
Deshaun Watson.
Is he gonna play?
I don't know. That's the
I would
thing.
put
He has
Deshaun Watson for number 4 too, though.
Deshaun Watson at 4. Number 5, Josh Allen. I think I would put
Yeah.
Josh Allen above Deshaun Watson at this point. I think he's proved a little bit more. I don't know, man.
Playoff wise, yeah, but like Deshaun Watson is a beast, man. I don't know. They're really similar, so that could be interchangeable.
Yeah, for sure. Number 6, Russell Wilson. 7, Lamar. 8, Matt Stafford. 9, Ryan Tannehill. And 10, Dak Prescott.
Isn't he buddies with Matt Stafford?
I think so.
Only Matt Stafford's on this damn list.
He also put on here, after Dak Prescott at 10, he said Joe Burrow, Herbert, Kyler, Baker right now on the cusp of being a top 10. Need to see more. He also said, if healthy and mind right, Wentz is top 10. Carr is flirting with the top 10.
All right, now this dude is delusional. Derek Carr is not a top 10 quarterback.
Well, that's what he said. He's flirting with the top 10. He's not on the top 10. But he says that if Carson's mind is right and he's healthy, he is a top 10. You know how old Orlovsky loves Carson Wentz.
Dan Orlovsky. I don't know what to think about that dude sometimes.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, you tell him, Dad. He knows his shit. I'm like, this guy knows his thing. And then he says something. I'm like, this guy, what is he seeing? What is he seeing that I'm not? He must be understanding something I'm not understanding.
I mean, hey, he's a great commentator.
I don't know if you saw Pat Mahomes. I think it was yesterday when they were playing golf this weekend. Some fan asked him about Justin Herbert coming for him, like coming for the championship, and he's like, "I'll believe it when I see it." I don't know if you saw that or not.
Like in his Kermit the Frog voice.
He's like, "I'll believe it when I see it."
Patrick Mahomes is on the top of the world as far as that shit goes right now, even with the Super Bowl loss. Like we talked about
another Super Bowl next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, we talked about this before the Tampa Bay Super Bowl. Like if Pat Mahomes loses this, does it really tarnish his legacy at all? No. And it's like, nah, you lost to the GOAT. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody lost to the GOAT except for Eli. I don't know how Eli did it, but I don't know, man. and I'm sorry, I forgot. I tried to push that out of my memory, but I did forget about Nick Foles.
Oh, Nick Foles.
But he's just like, you're not that guy, or you're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. That's what Tom Brady tried to tell Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
Did work.
You got any other NFL news?
No, I don't. That's the last bit of NFL news I have. Okay. Do you have anything else?
I
do have one more bit of news before we go into the bias bubble.
I had something regarding Wimbledon.
Oh, Wimbledon.
Listen, this is just off the wall shit. Wimbledon, apparently, there's a couple matches being investigated for alleged fixing, because there's a couple suspicions that were raised over, like, it was first round men's doubles, and there were large bets placed against a favored duo at irregular times, okay? And so the pair ended up winning the first set, and that increased the odds, that they would, so they had huge bets coming in. It was very weird. So they haven't come out and said anything yet, but they're under investigation. So it's very interesting. It makes me think, like, if it could happen at Wimbledon, why wouldn't it be happening at a random NBA game or a random NFL game or so? So I'm just like,
makes you think.
I don't know, makes you think. Just saying.
We talked about this a while ago on the podcast about, like, I forget who it was, about one of the ex-NFL players saying that, like, the NFL's rigged and stuff. What if it is? I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
It's like don't tell me that
finding out that Santa Claus isn't real. Like, I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't want to know that shit.
Don't tell me that shit.
The next bit of news I have here, it involves the Olympics coming up here. The Olympics will not have fans now because of a spike in new COVID cases in Japan, and with the new Delta variant that's going around, and pretty much the Delta variant's causing a lot of problems in a lot of areas now. And I don't want to say anything, but Fauci kind of made a comment about, like, shit might be shut down again eventually.
And I hope not.
I hope not too.
I do work from home, so like it is what it is now. But like I would hate to go back to the way we were. I know this isn't even that type of podcast,
Yeah,
but that's crazy that the Olympics are now they announced no fans at all.
yeah. So it's kind of gonna be a little weird at the Olympics this year.
Oh,
At
God. But
least
I
they're
did
having
have
it though. They didn't cancel it again because it was
right.
supposed
At
to be
least
last
they're
year.
going through with it in 2021, the 2020 Olympics in 2021 here. So I
Yeah,
hope are they going to do the 2024 in 2024, or are we going to be all off now?
I don't
Because it's
know.
been fucking great for years, and then COVID
Well,
comes
I
around.
guess it's just gonna be on an odd number now.
I no, fuck that. I hope it's on 2024. They still have to have this shit rolling, like because there's teams or there's like countries that bid for the Olympics years in advance. You know, like you get 2024 Olympics, you get the 20.
Maybe it'll be just like they'll have it in 2025, but they'll call it the 2024 Olympics.
Then it's just gonna confuse everybody every 4 years. Fuck.
It's just like how regular sports does it with like they say the 2020, 2021 season,
That is
2020,
true.
season. That shit confuses me all the time.
That shit confuses me all the fucking time.
All the fucking time.
But I did have one more bit of news here is
Okay.
the Conor McGregor loss to Dustin
Yeah.
Poirier.
Yeah. We don't talk about UFC much, but that was one of the biggest fights that happened here in a while.
The third fight, and it was a pretty like short fight, and I laugh at all the people who spent $70 to watch.
Oh my God.
You
Watch
know,
all these fights to lead up just to have this dude like break his ankle.
like I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, if you love watching UFC, you're probably enjoying every fight up
Yeah.
until that point anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so
people
it
that
is what it is.
specifically paid like $70 just to see the Connor fight.
But hey, it is what it is. But I'm glad Dustin won. I'm
Same
not
here.
a huge UFC fan or anything, but like
Yeah.
it's
I'm not a
been-
Connor fan either.
exactly. I'm not necessarily a Connor fan. So and the thing is, this dude is sitting there with a broken leg, still trash talking, still talking shit. He's just like, your wife's in my DMs.
I know, dude. To sit here talking about his wife, bro. I'm like, this dude's got balls.
Listen, as much as I don't like, as much as I dislike him, I always find it very intriguing. Like I gotta see what
It
he's
makes
saying.
you like, man, you so lucky you broke your ankle, bro. I hope this dude would have just knocked your ass out.
Apparently,
And then
he's
he still would have got up and started talking shit. I'm sure.
I know. He even like there was a post after the fight apparently where he was just like, the world needs people like me or something like
Oh
that.
my
Or
God,
the sport,
he's a
the
villain.
sport
Needs a heel.
people like me. And I was just, oh
Did you
God.
see the fight? I don't know who it was. It was the dude that fought Sugar Sham. But like Sugar Sham kept just beating the hell out of this dude, and this dude just kept taking it. It was amazing to see. I didn't watch it live. I just saw a clip. But dude, he just kept getting like punched in the face and kicked it. He just kept getting back up. His face is like cauliflower, but he's just like kept getting punched. He does it, just takes it like a champ. I don't know how he does it, bro. These dudes, I'll commend them.
They're warriors, man.
I'm not big on the UFC or anything, but man, I respect it because you gotta have the strength, you gotta have the mental to
You gotta
like
have
do
that,
all that.
that
the drive.
mental preparation to step into an octagon and
Yeah.
know that you could get seriously fucked up in here.
Yeah.
You know, or you can do the fucking up. So it's just,
It's like modern like gladiator stuff.
it's amazing.
I just like sometimes I just picture like they should just have Dana White up in like a big ass box at the very end. And he just does this after the fight. Instead of the judges, it's just Dana White, and he has like the Caesar shit with the toga.
And then it's just like rib kick him or something.
Pretty much the equivalent of like finish him.
That's
Just one last blow. Just
I'm like, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, bro. Did you see in the pre-fight, whenever McGregor was facing off with Dustin, like, he went to kick him, and he kneed Dana White in the ribs. And you could see, he's like, oh, and he like plays it off. He's like, and like while he's walking out,
don't cry in front of all these cameras.
that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like he's just like he even like tightens up his face, like. But like there's a video clip where he's walking out and he talks about he's like, oh, kick me, like need me to, so like
I didn't see that.
It's up to it, but I thought that was pretty funny as well. It
That
was
is funny.
McGregor throws this huge kick and he just knees him right in the.
Okay, let's just wrap this up real quick.
But that's all the news I had other than the bias bubble.
Okay, yeah, we can roll right into the bias bubble here, man. You can go ahead, man. I do have a bit of news I heard about your Lakers, if that's not part of yours.
I got a little bit, so I'll go with the Lakers here first. Is Lonzo Ball returning potentially?
I don't know.
There's some rumors floating around that he could have a potential matchup with these Lakers where we need a player like him that could kind of just fit in with what we're trying to do at the moment. Like, not somebody who's going to be a star.
Yeah. I mean, he's been improving each year.
Exactly.
And he was going to be part of my bias bubble as well, because the three teams that are linked to Lonzo as of right now, because it seems like the Pelicans are unlikely to match his significant offer sheet. As of right now, they stated. So it's looking like Lonzo's gone.
Yeah.
The three teams that are looking at him are the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bulls.
Man, I wouldn't mind getting him back, to be honest, especially now that he's like better. Like, fuck it. It is what it is.
Get rid of what's his name, Schroeder. Bring in Lonzo.
Yeah, Schroeder's out, man. Schroeder's gone. Harrell's gone. Harrell's been talking shit since the playoffs since we got knocked out of the playoffs. Like every week I see Harrell saying something else or responding to some fan that said something and he's like shitting on the Harrell's gone.
Really?
He's out of here, man. But I did see that as long with this like speculation bullshit, the social media shit, there was a tweet talking about Jamal Murray's future with the Lakers, and it was liked by Jamal Murray, where he is like, so it just got people talking like, oh, does Jamal want to play in LA? Like, whenever he gets a chance, just things like that make me very happy. So let's see what happens, because Jamal Murray is a beast. I would love to have him come choose us in free agency,
Interesting.
And then the last little thing, I didn't have much here. Andre Drummond joked around that he's going to be playing in China next year. And it kind of made me my heart's going to be like, what? I'm trying to resign you. Please stay with the Lakers, but he was making a joke. Apparently it was a joke about playing in China next year. And it had me worried.
That is odd. The thing that I saw, apparently you guys are linked. We talked about last week. You guys are linked to the Bull from the Spurs, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
But I saw there's apparently a rumor going around that not only could he go to the Lakers, but he could have a reteam with Kyle Lowry on the Lakers.
Man, that would be amazing. DeMar DeRozan, oh my God. Kyle Lowry, Anthony Davis,
DeMar.
LeBron James. As long as we keep Anthony Davis and LeBron, it don't even matter.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I saw LeBron said he wants to be a Laker the rest of his career.
I hope so. Please, don't go back to Cleveland. Why would you go back to Cleveland? Look, he's going to start making movies. Apparently I saw the article where he's going to be a billionaire this year finally or something, like where LeBron's just chilling. He's trying to make some movies, go to Silicon Valley, invest a bunch of shit. But, he ain't coming out of California until the San Andreas Fault breaks it off into the sea. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I'm just saying.
Oh, man. What else you got, man?
As far as my Patriots, N'Keal Harry's been spotted at camp, even though...
I just love the way you delivered that. You're just like, N'Keal Harry's been spotted at camp, I guess.
Even though
Trayton ass wants to be gone, he's spotted at camp.
He's there. He don't want to get fined, I guess, or whatever, but it is what it is. There's Golden Tate rumors floating around that he's going to be potentially coming in.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We've been there, done that. Don't do it.
I mean,
we were part of the Golden Tate experiment too.
We got Nelson Aguilar, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, so.
Aguilar's younger with a bigger upside right now. I would take Aguilar back over Golden Tate. Don't do it.
Okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't be so hyped about that rumor. But it was a rumor. Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just rumor.
It's just rumor. But this is involving the Eagles. There are Joint practices.
Yeah, August. I think it's 14th through the 16th or 14th through the 17th. It's over my birthday. I know that.
That's awesome. It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah, I
really
saw that.
cool. See, because
Because
we
I
do have
purposely
the
looked up to
preseason.
see if they had like tickets to go see like the joint practices, and I couldn't find them as of right now. Because I was like, that would be so dope if me and you were able to go see like the joint practice between the
Oh my
Eagles and the
god, that shit
Patriots.
would be
Because it's
amazing.
at NovaCare. It's in Philly. So
Right.
I'd be like, oh, that'd be so cool to go see them.
But I thought that was really cool, especially of it being both of our teams there. What week
Yeah.
do we play? Week 3?
I mean, we play preseason.
That, yeah. But like.
Oh
week
yeah,
two,
yeah. I think it's week 3.
Week 3? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I think we play you guys, and then we play the Steelers right after.
I think there's only 3 weeks of preseason.
Yeah, I believe
So
so.
it's probably week 2 that we play.
I think we play because the next joint practice is the Jets. Like after we had 2 joint practices, we had one with you guys and we have one with the Jets this year.
Interesting.
And I think we play you guys, the Jets, and the Steelers in the preseason.
I do have one more thing here. Okay.
Yeah.
A former Steelers linebacker, okay, who spent time with 7 different NFL teams, including my Patriots.
I think I
Okay.
saw this today. Yeah.
This guy out here talking shit. Why are these
Yep, I saw it.
why are all these people talking so much shit after they leave? After you leave, you want to say something.
Didn't he say something about how they treat their players terrible and
He
everything?
said, okay, the Patriot way is extremely impressive. They work day in and day out. Their work ethic over there, what they instill, is pretty legendary. But they also treat players like crap. What did Ned Stark say? Don't matter what they say before but. You know what I'm saying? But they also treat players like crap. You don't have a lunch period. You get there, you have to make time to eat in between meetings. It's like 5 to 10 minute periods where I could literally go scoop a cup of food and rush it real quick before I got to the next meeting. They're no fun. They're no, well, this is what I got in trouble for, saying they don't have fun. And I'm just like, man, I feel like he's exaggerating. Like this
that's
guy's
what it sounds like.
out here just like spinning tails right now, And he also already considers himself to be a top 5 most hated former Patriot. And I'm like, hey, I agree with you,
There's
But
probably a reason that he was
Exactly.
being like, he probably wasn't a great player, and he
I
probably
think
wasn't a
about-
great locker room presence either.
Exactly. I think about him being late all the time, like to
Yeah.
meetings and shit, and be like, I gotta, like I'm
Probably
already
the
late.
reason they treated you like crap
Yeah, and
and then
apparently
released you.
this is the best part. Exactly. This is the best part. We traded for him, okay, in September of 2017, and then he was cut by November. So
Yeah.
like he's barely even spending time with us. Like you have no idea.
You know it has to be somewhat big if you trade for a dude and then you're like, nah, you
And then
cut him.
cut him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the issue
I mean-
is you, pal.
Issue with you because we winning chips over here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. Maybe not anymore, but we were back in those times. That was the year we lost to you in the Super Bowl. But we
Yeah.
were still what happened
I
2016? What
saw
happened
that today
2018?
and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
That's even saying this shit.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of. Is like who is this guy talking to? Former Patriot? I don't know. Fuck this guy. Oh, he spent a month with us. That's why I don't know.
Oh,
who the
that
fuck
makes
this
sense.
guy. That makes sense, and he's still talking shit. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
We're there a
That's-
month and you're gonna talk shit like you've been around the block with you guys or
Like
something.
you
Like
know
you've been with
the Patriot way.
Yeah.
You don't know apparently you weren't good enough for the Patriot way. Fucking bitch ass. Shoot you up, spit you out. Fuck out of here. Piece of
Oh man.
shit. But anyway, that's all I had.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the first thing I had here for Bulls was that they, among the Lakers and the Clippers, they are interested in Lonzo. I think he would be a great ad. I think he
Yeah.
would be a great addition to
That
the
shit
Bulls.
would-
He would bring in more defense, which we really need on the team, is better defense. And I think, I mean, he's really developed an offensive game as well. And I think I can see him as the starter over Kobe White, especially at point guard. So, I mean,
but still, that's a great piece to come off the bench.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. I mean, you can't go wrong with either or. If Lonzo, I'd imagine he would be starting over Kobe. But, I mean,
Right.
either or, I mean, I'd be happy with that. I think he would be a great addition to the team. It's currently looking like Lauri Markkanen is not going to be on the Bulls here going into the next year, which I kind of
expected that.
yeah, I kind of expected. Apparently, rumor has it that the Spurs are interested in Lauri Markkanen. I think he would be a great player for Pop too.
Yeah.
But DeJounte Murray and Derek White could both be gettable from the Spurs, sources say, making them a team to keep an eye on. And apparently DeJounte Murray is pretty close friends with Zach LaVine.
Good.
So there's already a kind of a connection there.
It'll be easy enough for them to gel if they do, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, he's been balling out with the Spurs as well. I mean, the Spurs didn't really do too well this year, but he was kind of a bright spot on that team. He's been getting better year in and year out. So that's a guy to look at. So, I mean, it seems like the Bulls are going to be looking at a lot of acquisitions this year. I mean, I talked about the other week, the GM, the new GM now, saying that there's going to be roster spots. There's going to be a lot of roster spots open. So
everybody's like, oh, shit.
I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be a whole new team. I'm expecting they asked Zach LaVine about his contract extension, and he said that he's very eager, looking to get things done here with the Bulls. He expects talks to ramp up here soon, probably after the Olympics. But, I mean, it's looking like I keep seeing rumors about, like, oh, could the Bulls trade LaVine? There's no way that they're trading LaVine. There's no way. There's no way they are trading. They would trade
build around
Vucevic before they would trade LaVine at this point. Right. They're going to sign him to an extension, probably close to a max deal, if I'm not a max deal. Maybe, hopefully bring in another decent player, you know, or to build some depth on the team as well.
Right.
And speaking of that, our 2020 second round pick, Marko Simnovic, is flying to Chicago, and he's officially signing with the Bulls. We picked him last year. They kind of wanted to give him a year off. They didn't want to bring him in yet. He'd been playing in like the European leagues this past year. And I did have because his European team went to the finals. And it was in the second game of the Serbian finals. He dropped 19 points and 20 rebounds.
Damn.
And he's a big dude. He's a
remember
big.
We talked about him last year.
Yeah, Simnovic. He's a big guy, and now like they officially brought him in. They're signing him. He balled out, man. He's getting boards like crazy. If he's coming off the bench for Vooch, that's gonna be nice, man.
Right.
That's gonna be great to bring in too.
Hopefully that works out nice.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty cool as well. The Bulls, the future's looking bright, man. For the first time in some years now, I can finally say that about the Bulls.
Right.
Got a front office, got a dope player that it seems like all the elite players in the NBA are kind of talking about as of right now. Like Zach, that's why like he only started tonight because Jason Tatum was out with like knee soreness or whatever. So I think now like he kind of took that starting spot, and now he's kind of impressing some people, showing what he can
dropping 2 games, man. They had to make some changes.
Exactly, and I mean Pop is on record saying that like LaVine is like a bright spot on the team. He'll do everything that you ask of him and more. Like he's getting a lot of people's attention now. Like people are starting to see Zach LaVine. I mean, he made the All-Star team now this year. It was his first All-Star appearance. So I mean, future's looking bright for the Bulls and Zach LaVine. I can't wait to see him develop, man, because he's one of those players that just gets better and better each year.
Absolutely, man.
Going into a little bit of Birds news I have here. Talk about going back to the ESPYs from this past weekend. Devontae Smith won Best College Athlete.
I told you that before that even happened. I said it before. I don't think it was on this podcast, but I was like, you have the best college football player from 2021 on your team, and then boom, you won the ESPY for it. So
it's official now, and that adds on to his Heisman Trophy, his Biletnikoff Award, AP College Player of the Year, Maxwell Award, Walter Camp Award, and Sports News College Player of the Year as well. Like, man, I'm so excited for this damn season now. Like training camp's at the end of this month. We're only like 2 weeks away from training camp. I'm ready to see this dude just balling out in training camp, seeing all these videos of crazy catches.
It's gonna be so excited.
Going into
him and Jalen Hurts teaming up, man. I think it will be a really good combo. We talked about that.
I sent you that video of Jalen Hurts like deadlifting 600 plus pounds today, bro. He's out here beasted with Lane. He's training with Lane Johnson. That's at like Lane Johnson's camp. And I'm like, damn, bro. He's out here working with his O-line
trying to bulk up so he can take some of these hits, you know.
He looks like a beast now. Like he's huge. And the only other news I have here for the Eagles, other than like the training camp practices with the Patriots and the Jets, chances of JJ Arcega-Whiteside making the 53-man roster are very small.
Oh,
it seems
man.
like he's finally going to get cut. The JJ Arcega-Whiteside
What pick
sagas
did Jay use to draft him?
second round pick.
Okay, see,
According to Adam Kaplan, the former second round pick has to earn his way on the roster by having a training camp in preseason, or he won't have a spot on the team at all.
I can't even say shit because we drafted N'Keal Harry with AJ Brown on the board. So everybody makes mistakes.
I mean, Howie makes a lot of them during the draft.
I mean, Bill.
Yeah. So I mean, I see why they kept him. You know, I mean, you don't want to give up on a second round pick in the first
early,
couple
but
of years. Yeah. But now, obviously, I mean, there was some talk about him maybe transferring to being a tight end because he is kind of bigger.
Yeah,
but it's at this point, it's looking like they're going to cut him, especially if like Zach Ertz shows up for training camp, and
they're
like,
not going to need him.
They're not going to even need him at that point. So, yeah, I mean, it's looking, and we have other better receivers on the roster as well. You got like the three of Devontae, Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham, and then you got like Quez Watkins, and then I forget the other dude's name as well. But there's other receivers that are better that have already proved more than JJ has in the past couple seasons.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's no reason.
It's not really that surprising.
Yeah, not at all. But that's the last bit of news I have here as far as Spurs. Not too much going on. I mean, the only other thing I think of as far as Spurs, they took down Carson Wentz's picture on the link. Finally. After all these, and that was this past week. They took like the big ass photo of him off the stadium. They haven't replaced it yet, but apparently they're looking on replacing it with like Travis Kelce. I'm guessing they're saying.
Okay. They should put Devontae Smith up there.
It's too early. You can't put him up on there yet.
Put him up on the poster.
Just like I wouldn't put Jalen Hurts on there yet. I mean, this is looking like Kelsey's last season. Put a big old picture of him up there.
Okay.
But yeah, now of course we'll go into the last part of the show, the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So we'll kind of stick with the NFL a little bit. I'll kind of give you it's kind of small, so I'll give you two of them.
Okay.
About football. About 46% of Pro Football Hall of Famers played for one team during their whole career.
That's a big percentage.
46% of Pro Football Hall of Famers played for one team during their whole career.
Tom Brady ain't one of them.
Tom Brady is. You thought he was going to be.
I thought he was going to be.
People thought he was going to be.
You know? That's ridiculous.
Kind of sticking with the career thing. The longest average NFL career are punters, and that's at 4.8 years.
And that's the longest, man.
Yeah, that's the longest average player. Like that's how long an average career is in the NFL, and the longest is for a punter at 4.8 years.
God, that's so terrible. Like that's what they say in those like NFL videos where they're like talking to the future NFL players, and they're like, "Hey, make sure you get a college degree because the average length of a career is only actually 2.5 years or something like that." And
yeah,
like,
I mean, you hear it all the time with like running backs mostly.
Exactly.
But yeah, that really puts it into perspective on how hard it is to not only get into the NFL, but how hard it is just to stay in the NFL after you're in
for more than 5 years.
Yeah, because I mean, you see all these like all these players that like since we've been in high school that are still playing, but you got to think like they've been busting their ass to stay in the league to maintain their name to
keep
maintain,
a contract.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it really shows you how much work and dedication it takes to stay in the NFL. I mean, it's not as simple as people say like on the internet, where it's like all you guys do is play football for your career. Like it must be that hard. It is, man. I guarantee you, I couldn't make an NFL.
If it's not, then how come you ain't? You know,
yeah,
say that
exactly.
to like these it's ridiculous when you hear that type of shit because it really is.
Football, making millions of dollars. Well, man, you gotta maintain peak physical condition on top of playing well, man.
Right, and performing.
Performing. Yeah, it's not enough just to be in great condition. You gotta be performing.
It's a job.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's the show for today. That's all the news we have. Make sure to go like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at SquadPod Sports. We are finally past 600 followers now. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. Now, anybody, go tell your friends. Come on to YouTube. like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Drop a comment or two. Let us know how we're doing. We'll interact with you.
Like we said, if we suck, tell us we suck. At least comment on the shit.
Hey,
you know?
it's a comment. We're fine with all criticisms.
Take that constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Figure out how to not suck.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Until then, we'll see everybody next week.
Peace out.
Peace.
Pod.